Friday with Beer. I am Marcus Beer. C'est moi. How are you? What's going on? Busy week. If you are, sorry, I'm just trying to wreck the place. If you are a video gaming person, there's been a lot of video gaming news. There's also been a lot of pop culture-y stuff. I mean, it's been it's been interesting. I mean, the Spider-Man trailer came out for No Way Home. We had a new What If from Marvel that was actually the most interesting yet, in my opinion. We had a Ted Lasso and a half drop last night, this morning, which we can talk about as well. And Gamescom, opening night live. Isn't that right? I think that's what it was called. It was the Jeff Keighley extravaganza. And I think Jeff did an amazing job. Didn't watch it, but I'm sure he did an amazing job because that's what Jeff does. So, yeah, here I am getting everything together. As you can see, a little bit of a haircut. You see, decided to go a little bit, spruced, and if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out in style. Oh yeah. So yes, it's been an interesting week. So, yes, and obviously we could talk about the footy, the big news of the week. And I'm going to save all that. I'm going to wait until we got a couple more people in. I've got Annalie, who is sub-level 28. She's in the house. Raypad is in the house, and he's like, please talk about Player X going to. And we're like, oh, okay, we will do that. We will talk about lots and lots and lots of things, including the big Saints Row reveal. Now, I am a Saints Row fan, and I have Saints Row 4 on here. I now have Saints Row 3 because it was free on in a very savvy marketing move. It was free on Epic Games this week, so on PC. So you should get it if you have a PC that's handling it, as it were. And we will talk about Saints Row as well. There's the Marvel Midnight Sun thingy. I think it was called Midnight Sun, whatever it was called. Yeah, it's there's been stuff going on. We've got Destiny 2, the White Queen, the Pink Queen, I don't know. Halo's getting a release date and is getting anniversary versions. And if you are a regular follower of this show, you know that while I appreciate that other people love Halo and love Destiny, the amount of fucks I give about those particular games, unfortunately, is not high. I've played them, I can appreciate them, but I don't really care. That's just the way I am. And especially as my clock is ticking, I'm getting to get even more judicious about what I play. Some people are like, well, I'm going to experience everything life has to offer in my final months, years, whatever. I'm like, screw that. I know what I like. It's going to make me happy, and I'm going to fucking enjoy it. Yeah, so Davita Man is in. We're slowly picking up speed in the chat room. Don't forget, if you got questions, drop them in perhaps towards the end. We're going to look for additional topics. I have to be out of here in 57 minutes because I've got to go to my cardiologist. Because one of the interesting things of having a heart condition and having cancer is that I'm just a greedy fuck for a start. I mean, I'm just so greedy. What can I say? Is that these two things can mess with each other medication-wise. And the chemo drugs I'm on, not very good with the heart. So I've got to work with my cardiologist today, and I've just expended all the energy. And I'm spent. I kid. You know what? We're going to start with some footy while we wait for everybody to get in, even though the RP Genius will probably be pissed when he turns up, and we've already talked about it. Man United getting Cristiano Ronaldo back for 20 million or something. And, oh, well, that's fun. My laptop just died. Bear with me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, well, there you go. I knew my laptop was on the way out, but wow, it just literally just curled up and shuddered and went, no more. So now I'm going to try and reboot it, because apparently when I pushed my chair, it knocked the power supply into watch what happens live. Disasters is what I do. Hopefully this thing works. Oh, there you go. All right. No, I just lost a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, yes, Man United, Cristiano Ronaldo, a match made in douchedom. And sorry to my Man United supporting friends. Got nothing but love for you, but got nothing but disgust for your team. I know, I kid. Disgust is a bad word. I mean, it's friendly rivalry, healthy rivalry. If you can sign him, I'd rather see him go back to Man United than Man City because he does have history at United. He is a club legend, and I think that's that's where he should be. If he's going to finish off his days, he should do it there. And I think it's a great signing. I mean, he's proven he can still do it at the highest level, but will it imbalance the team? They, especially with Pogba, Fernandes, and now Ronaldo, that's 3 mega egos right down the spine of the team. It might be a disaster. It might be a disaster. I mean, I'm praying for a disaster because let's face it, my team has spent 30 million. And we signed a defender, but we have re-signed almost all of our top players. Sucks we lost Gini, but it kept him out of Man City's hands. I don't think he would have ever gone to Man City. I think he was a bargaining chip. Him and Pep never saw eye to eye. He would never. I don't think he'd have gone there. I really don't. So yes, that's my thoughts, Raypad. I'm sure you will. You will share yours in the comments section. Oh. Wow, got a little bit hyped there. I had having a naughty sugar bomb day. Well, hey, what's it gonna do? Kill me? Black humor is in effect, and by black I mean dark. I mean that gallows humor is definitely in effect this week. So let's talk about Gamescom. Gamescom happened this week, and this is going to be the crux of the show. Obviously, like I said, there were some new announcements with regards to Destiny 2 and Halo that got a lot of people very happy, and good luck to you. I really don't want to focus on those. I want to focus on the two. My laptop's giving up the ghost. And again, now I'm like, this laptop I've had for 5 years, and this is the gallows humor. This is what I encourage on this show. Did your laptop have cancer too? So my issue with the laptop is that it's a wonderful laptop, really old, but it's battered and the battery's dead, and so it has to be plugged in at all times. And I am. Oh boy, am I reluctant to shell out for a new one. Because, I mean, what do I do? Do I get a brand new one? I mean, I only bought this brand new desktop machine a year ago. Do I now get a new laptop? And what happens? Is it going to be going to waste in 6 months? Is it going to be given away in 6 months or a year or God knows? Yeah. So anyway, look at this. We have with Sword and Gun, welcome, and Nihilist Zealot, welcome to you both. Thank you for joining. Raypad, I think we might have the same problem. My casing's cracked on this one, so it's my Razer Blade Pro. Anyway, we'll see if it explodes. It explodes. All right, let's talk about Gamescom. Let's talk about the ones that came out of Gamescom, and the two that interested me. First of all is Marvel Midnight Sun, which is the Firaxis XCOM, but not. Showed no gameplay, understandably. It's not coming out for a little while. They did say they'd have gameplay, I think, in September. Seems a little strange to announce a game, have a trailer, and then say, we'll definitely show we'll show stuff in a couple of months or in a couple of weeks. Interesting plot. I just don't know if I've got it in me for a turn-based Marvel strategy game. I mean, obviously, Ultimate Alliance 1, 2, and indeed 3, while flawed in various places, was still excellent. Not strategy games as such, but they worked really, really well. And they're still more infinitely entertaining than the Avengers game. I mean, I like the stylized thing. I think, somebody's trying to release Hela or somebody from her grave, and destroy the universe, and you can create your own your own hero called the Hunter. So you're not even playing as the Marvel characters, I understand. I think they're your backup. And stylistically, it looks great. But then stylistically, the Avengers looked pretty cool the first time we saw it as well. So I don't know about that one at all. What do you think? I mean, is there space for this? Is there a real-time strategy game with Marvel? I mean, let's face it, everything Marvel touches turns to gold. But I just don't know if this is a smart fit. I mean, it just seems like it might be a little too, dare I say it, dull and pedestrian, or maybe a little too cerebral for a lot of gamers. Is it going to be PC only? Is it, they're going to take the consoles and the Switch? Is it really going to work in that market? It's a very interesting gamble. So I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm very interested to see where it goes. It's not lighting my fire. There's a lot of other Marvel games that I would like to see. I would like to see a new Ultimate Alliance on every system. Remake the first couple, because I thought they were great. I'd like to see Avengers become playable. And I say that from somebody who's played through the original single-player game all the way through, and was bored by it. As I've said, I do admire Square Enix's commitment to updating and providing free content and new skins and new characters and stuff like that, but lipstick on a pig is the phrase I'm going to use. So yes, we'll have to see gameplay. We'll have to see gameplay and see where it goes. I'm sure a lot of people, I know there's a lot of people who love XCOM, and I try to get into it. It's not really my cup of tea. Turn-based strategy, not my forte, and that's the way it is. So we'll see. We'll see. Disturbed Swan, thank you. Thank you for the kind words and for joining us today. Let's talk about the main meat and two veg. And this is the one where I'm going to get a little bit animated and use the very last of my energy. And the wife is going to have to drive me to the cardiologist because I'll be asleep. Because, getting old. Let's talk about Saints Row. It's not Saints Row the reboot. It's not Saints Row the remaster, the reimagining. It's Saints Row the Gap commercial. It's Saints Row the Axe body spray commercial, or Saints Row now brought to you by White Claw hard seltzer. Because that's honestly what it felt like. It's like Vans and White Claw hard seltzer had a baby, took it to Urban Outfitters, dressed it up, pushed it into video game form. And let's talk about my history with the Saints Row franchise. Never worked with them. But first two Saints Row games, let's face it, were shitty GTA clones. Not really fun at all. I think everybody can agree that they were aimed to be GTA clones, and they didn't do the job. The fact it got to it got to a third iteration was quite amazing. But then the third iteration was like, you know what? Let's just be ridiculous. And that's the buzzword that made Saints Row successful. The final two games and the expansion pack, Gat Out of Hell. Saints Row, and I've seen this echoed today in a very, very good Kotaku piece by John Walker, by the way. You should have a look at it. Saints Row 3 and 4. 3 was the start of the ridiculousness, and 4 was just like, woo! And as, John Walker says in his excellent piece, you start Saints Row 4 as somebody who is a super secret agent, is like a super agent for the government who ends up taking out a nuclear weapon that's on its way to decimate the US. And while it plays, while you ripping this thing apart, a la Captain America, Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is playing. And then you become president of the United States. And you got Keith David as your VP. And aliens turn up and drop you into this simulation that's all matrixy, and you get superpowers. And I'm not really spoiling because it's a freaking 10-year-old game or whatever it is, you end up ruling the galaxy with the Saints, and then you go to hell in the expansion. And it's the thing, the thing about it is, yes, it was a little bit near the knuckle, but it's just that trailer was so faux edgy. The joy had been sucked out of Saints Row. That I'm coming back to that ridiculous word. The ridiculousness has been sucked out of Saints Row based on that trailer. Now, we haven't had gameplay yet. And everybody's like, well, this is, the Saints Row Twitter feed has been going overtime trying to get a lot of people on site, because there's, the YouTube trailer, I think, got 16,000 likes and 20,000 downlikes, which shows maybe that Volition has misjudged it, or maybe they haven't misjudged it. Maybe, we know the times have changed, especially over the last several years, but maybe the games industry is not exactly a place to have fun anymore. Maybe everything has to be worthy. Everything has to be, oh, well, what's, maybe they get together in super secret meetings and we'll go, all right, so what's the trend for 2 years' time? Well, I predict that it's going to be Mario-Vania, Metroid clones with everything resets after 10 seconds. And everybody's going to love it, and it's going to just be the most gripping, amazing thing ever. And everybody's going to do the same game all in one go, much like we've had with roguelike right now. And we get this every time. The beauty of Saints Row 4 was, we don't give a shit. We're just going to do stupid things, and it's just going to be, everything's going to be amped to 11. It's going to be full on Spinal Tap. It's going to become a caricature of itself. Yes, the dudes are all big, buff, and have unbelievable packages. The ladies all have big bouncy wobbly bits. There's big purple dildos. There is an EDM gun. There is a kick-ass soundtrack. People sing along to it. And it worked. It worked as a silly video game. And we've got to have a space for sillier video games. Because I'll tell you what the future is if we can't have these silly video games. And if companies like Volition have this ridiculous's beat out of them, we're going to be stuck with games like 12 minutes. Now, 12 minutes, I've played 12 minutes. I started playing it this week. It came onto Games Pass, started playing it. Went in thinking it'll be interesting. You know what? I'm going to critique that game separately in a minute. But it's a very cerebral game. It is where you have to think about things and you have to feel comfortable with questioning things, and the same 4 rooms, and the same thing happens every 12 minutes. And each time you peel the onion and you get to ask more questions, and I'm already critiquing the fucking thing. The problem is with 12 minutes is why 12 minutes is a game that will no doubt get swaths of praise and Game of Year nominations out the yin yang. It's boring as tits. I'm not saying tits are boring. I'm saying it's boring as fuck. It's boring. It's boring to me. It's boring to somebody who wants to have some fun when they're playing the video games. And look, not everybody's like that. Everybody wants to have their own little things. And I like games that can make me think. I don't like games that just repeat. And this game was in development for 6 years. This game was in development at the same time I developed Cancer. Think about that. And it's only 12 minutes long, however many times. And it has Daisy Ridley, it has James McAvoy, and it has Willem Dafoe. I mean, it's got fucking Ray, Professor X, and Doc and Green Goblin. I mean, and it's just dull. I mean, it's just a pain to play. If that's the future, bury me now. Because we need to have silly games. And I'm talking about silly games for grown-ups. Because let's face it, everybody still, it's like, oh, well, we have to appeal to this 12 to 15 to 18 to 25 demographic. Look, they're a lost cause. They're fucking playing Fortnite. They're playing Fortnite every single day. They're off doing it. They're playing Fortnite. Before that, they're playing Minecraft. They're playing Roblox or Roblox or whatever the hell it's called. They're all playing those games. They are a lost cause, that generation. They wouldn't know fun and diversification if it came and slapped them upside the head with a big purple dildo. So what you've got is you've got this market that is being left behind. This market that raised their kids. Kids are out the door now, off to college. Kids graduated college. Right, you're on your own. Fuck off. You're not moving back in with me into my basement. That's where I'm going to put my video game systems because I'm the older gamer. People of my age, people of older than me, people like me who will live longer than me. And we want to have some fun. We can have a Skyrim. We can have a bit of fun with Papers. Not fun, but we can be thinking with Papers, Please, or Brothers, Two Tales, or whatever the heck that was called. I mean, we can have these great little indie ones. And by the way, if it's Annapurna Interactive, considering they're a big-ass studio, do those games count as indie games anymore? I don't know. And I'm not critiquing. There's a place for these games, but there doesn't seem to be a place anymore for fun, silly games. If it has to be silly, it has to be cutesy silly. It has to be, oh, he's playing cool, he's cute. And it's just fucking ridiculous. Why can't we have a Saints Row that you take Saints Row back to the beginning because they're not Saints yet? Fine. Don't give us the, Johnny Gat and Sean D and all those characters. Their time may be gone. But how about you give us an origin? I mean, so here we go. Again, tangent. Boom. This game looks like it has the same problem that the Ghostbusters reboot with the all-female cast had. Didn't acknowledge the original series and give it and use that as a boost into it. I would have really been happy with seeing that new Ghostbusters. I'm not talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife, which does look right up my alley, which looks like it's taken the original two films and has used them as the basis, and we know the characters are transferred. What the Ghostbusters reboot from Paul Feig did was it just basically wiped everything away. These people were inventing it all over again. It was a fucking reboot, and it didn't need to be a reboot. It could have been Ghostbusters 3. It could have been Finding the Proton Packs. It could have been a daughter of whoever, and it could have been inspired by the works of or whatever. And it would have been a lot more sense instead of getting the first two movies, chopping them up, throwing out all the lore, rewriting it, and it just sucked. That's why it sucked, in my opinion. And Saints Row could be, could have gone the same way. It could have been something where, all right, well, the original Saints are all long gone. They were kidnapped. They thought that they saved the Earth had been destroyed, and they were, and they were off somewhere else in another galaxy. Well, guess what? Something happened behind there. Or even take it back to the origins of the Saints with some other characters, the forefathers or whatever, however you want to do it. The problem is Saints Row looks like Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas with slightly bigger weapons. And that is not the fun aspect of Saints Row. And I'm probably wittering on. And yeah, that's how I feel. I'm just eminently disappointed by it. And I know we haven't seen gameplay footage yet. All we've seen is this trailer. And, there's no purple because they're not Saints yet. But literally every single one of these characters looks like a generic template from a young person ad. It's like, hello, that meme with Steve Buscemi. I think it's from SNL or Kids in the Hall or whatever it was on Mad TV, where he's in the baseball cap and he's got the hoodie and the skateboard. He's like, obviously, late 40s, early 50s, like, hello, fellow young people. That's what it looks like to me. And that does not look entertaining unless I can shoot these kids, these virtual kids. If I get to slap them around and, Sims, turn them into Sims and, put them in a swimming pool and pull all the ladders out. I'm not talking about shooting kids. Okay. Don't take that out of context, but it looks to have no soul. It looks to have no fun. It looks to have no joie de vivre. It looks sterile. And that for Saints Row is soul destroying. For a game that's supposed to be coming out next year, it's obviously well down the pipe. And I'm going to follow it with interest, but I think that interest is going to just be disappointed interest, because if this looks like another fucking GTA clone, count me out. Count me out. Back to chat room. Let's go and have a look at what everybody said after I've waffled away for a while. Okay, yes. All right. Okay. Scrug McShlug has a legitimate exclamation point, because why is it the way it is? Hang on, what? Saints Row was a million times better than Crackdown 3. Well, that's, yeah. I mean, let's face it. Saints Row 4 out Crackdown. I mean, and Crackdown was my favorite game, or one of my favorite games for a long time. Crackdown 2 sucked. Crackdown 3, fun initially, and then just died. Yeah, I just let me see. I think a lot of people seem to agree that it does looks quite sterile. Ray Padilla. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. And Ray Padilla with the football. Yeah, reference Saints Row and Southampton's soccer team. Yes, come on, Ray. There you go. Let's have a look at that. There's an interview with the SR reboot team. One of them struggles so much to describe the characters. Wow, that's sad. That's sad. I mean, and look, I know these guys are working their asses off, and I know it's not the same volition that probably made Saints Row 4, because we know that company isn't around anymore. The parent company isn't around anymore. I mean, they went bye-bye. Let's see. RP Genius. Yeah, no. Sorry. No. Let's not talk about Yakuza. I tried. I got bored. Stupid. Backbeat, interesting observation. I've had to guess it's because they figure a lot of people who might be playing it won't have played the other games. And that's what, you know what? That's an interesting point, but it's all the more reason in my book to get that fun game in. And look, it's ironic that this is what the industry has been Kotaku'd into. And it's ironic because, like I said, John Walker wrote this great piece asking where his Saints Row went on Kotaku today. I think it was on Kotaku. I think so. But that's my point. Everybody's now has to play it safe. Everybody can't have, and I'm not talking about going and offending. I'm picking on one set of society. I'm picking on people because of their gender or their weight or their skin color or whatever. Pick on fucking everybody. Pick on the white guy. White guys are stupid. Pick on us. We deserve it. Just pick on everybody else at the same time. Have some fun and don't be mean about it. Just be ridiculous. Big purple dildos, for God's sake. Yes, Youssef, right there. I think you've hit it on the head, my friend. And look, I am one. I consider myself. I hate to say the woke word, but yeah, I consider myself woke. I mean, I don't understand what people of color or of different genders or different sexualities go through. I don't, because I get it. This is the face of the enemy. I am the white guy who, the middle-aged white guy who has oppressed and has been part of this system. This is the visage of not a nice part of society, but hopefully that's not me. I hope that, that's not me. I mean, we all make our missteps over our lives, but crikey. But yeah, I mean, where's the fun? I mean, people have been saying for a while that, comedy has been killed by PC culture. Now, comedy hasn't been killed by PC culture because just the sections that were flat out racist, misogynist, etc. And there are ways and means and better ways than me to explain it, and better ways than I could ever write it. But there are writers out there, I am sure, who can write funny gags that don't hurt anybody. I mean, yes, you're going to have a tiny subset who are like, I'm offended. I mean, am I offended the Saints Row has gone this way? No, I'm disappointed. I'm not offended. It's their franchise. They can do whatever they want. I'm just a fan. I would love to have seen something fun. I am not offended by it. I'm just saddened and disappointed. The same way I was saddened and disappointed by The Rise of Skywalker. Let me see. Let me see. Go back to the chat. Hello, fellow kids. Yes, indeed. Psychonauts 2. I have downloaded that. I really like Psychonauts 1. I started playing it on Games Pass a couple of weeks ago. Had some fun with it. Started playing it. Gonna put some serious hours into it. It looks like a buttload of fun. Somebody redid Myst is also available on Games Pass right now. Downloaded that and realized it's still as boring as ever. So I uninstalled it because I tried playing it. I'm like, no, it's not my cup of tea. Jedis Thor. I can never pronounce your screen name, dude. Saints Row looks like hipster heaven. I mean, yes, thankfully, I don't think there's a man, but and ironically, those super cute kids that are in, the super hip, Vans commercial, Urban Outfitters, White Claw, amalgamation Spawn that's in the Saints Row video. They're the ones who would have had the crap kicked out of them by Johnny Gat, Sean D, and the rest of the crew, the original Saints, in my opinion. Exploding Fists asks, have I had a shave? I've had a shave and I've had a haircut. Look at that. I had a little bit of a haircut. I groomed up. I figure if this is all going to fucking rot away from the inside, might as well make the outside look moderately pretty. Backbeat. If South Park can do it for 20 years, then the Saints should be able to do it too. And I would thank you. I have the Stick of Truth and I have the Fractured Butthole installed on this PC. And I have the console versions on PlayStation as well. Hell, I bought the collector's edition, and I have the Eric Cartman wizard in his little car thing that came with the collector's edition, and it was broken. Yeah, thanks Ubisoft. And those games, it worries me that those games cannot be made today. I hold out hope against hope. At some point, I will get a final part of the trilogy in the South Park genre or the South Park series, because they've signed this mega $900 billion trillion thing to keep South Park going, I think, until season 30, which is another 7 years, and produce a bunch of movies based in the South Park universe. And it would give me hope that there is one more South Park game there that I can play before I die, because I have replayed both of those games in the last 3 weeks, and they have brought me so much joy. Even though I've played and completed them, I crank up the difficulty level. I know the jokes are coming, but they still make me smile. Just like the show does. It stands the test of time, and it shows that great comedy writing can be put into video games. And I really hope that we do get a final South Park close off the trilogy. If we don't, that'll be a travesty. But again, it's this whole I'm offended. It's the Karens and the reverse Karens. I mean, what a world we live in, eh? What a world. No, I didn't manscape. I'm not that bored. Let's see. All right, what else is going on? Okay, so there you go. Apparently, the new South Park game, South Park first two games were licensed through South Park Digital Studios. I think they were perhaps the overall production. I think they were done by Massive, was it? Maybe out of Sweden. But they were obviously written and voiced by Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and their crew. And that's the thing. I would love to have one final one. Just keep on doing the same thing that you did. I mean, make it a sprawling RPG with lots of DLC and cool little Easter eggs and all sorts of fun stuff. And just get it to me before I shuffle this Mortal Coil. Because if I die a week before it's released, I'm going to come back and haunt some motherfuckers. Let's see. Yes, Exploding Fists, Simpsons Hit and Run. That's another one that would be awesome and remade. I think I spoke about this on Sunday's show. Obviously, I didn't do last Friday's show. I did the stream on Sunday. It's up on YouTube. If you missed it, we had a good chat and all sorts of shenanigans. And we talked about the guy who redid Simpsons Hit and Run in Unreal Engine 5 or whatever the hell it is, and how amazing it looks. Backbeat, good question. Was it the first? Wasn't it THQ that made the first one? That's a good question. No, it was Ubisoft. Yep, Ubisoft did the 2 South Park games, according to the Goggle. Yeah, it was released in 2014. So yeah, we're coming up on a decade since that first came out. So I'm going to need to last to 2024, and I demand, God damn it, a new South Park game. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Obsidian made the first one with South Park Studios. That was my favorite one of the two. I mean, I loved the Fractured Butthole in a lot of the things that it did, but I thought that it tweaked up it tweaked the combat in a way that I didn't think needed to be done. And I also thought the writing was, while still funny, wasn't initially as funny as the Stick of Truth, which is quite possibly the funniest video game I've ever played in my life. And I played Leisure Suit Larry games. Let's face it, some of them aren't that funny. But yes, Stick of Truth. South Park, though, the other thing that the Fractured Butthole did is it took away that RPG element of the armor and the weapons. And I know it made it more about the superpowers, but it would have been nice to be able to tweak up my weapons. And I know it gave me the artifacts and all those fun things, and especially after you've done Casa Bonita, the downloadable content, and Camp Tadikaka, which were great DLCs, by the way, and opened up a whole new bunch, especially when you start replaying and you get that stuff from the get-go on the next play round. I thought they were both, they're both really, really great games. Stick of Truth, still my all-time favorite, number one. Fractured Butthole had more polish and more content, in my opinion. And it had Morgan Freeman. So, plowed through all that. If you are if you are just joining me, I will say I have to be out of here at 3 o'clock on the dot because I've got to go see the cardiologist because the chemo pills apparently don't seem to agree with the chest. And I don't have a cancer update. I should get some sort of Chiron or something for that. I don't have a cancer update other than September the 4th, week tomorrow, bone scan, CT scan, and then September the 8th is the big one. That's the blood tests. I'll get the results of all the scans, and we'll see how my body's coped with being on the hormone suppressant, testosterone suppressant, and the chemo drugs for a month. So what we want is that PSA number to go down. If it goes down, and it should take down the tumors and the other nasty bits and bobs. If it doesn't go down, then brown pants time. And I never wear brown pants. I prefer jeans. Anyway, Dancer in the house and Disturbed Swan. Okay, back, but you obviously missed that my whole 12 minutes rant. You might have to go back Because yes, I have played 12 minutes. I have spent more than 12 minutes on it. And while I can appreciate the aesthetic and I can see why it will garner lots of loving attention from a lot of people, bored me stupid pretty quick. The fact that this game took so long to make. And look, the person did something that I can never do in make a game, have a vision for a game. And that's the thing. Those who can do, those who can't, critique. And I can't. That's it. I've worked at companies. I've contributed bits and bobs. I have written reports. I've evaluated games. I can look at somebody's thing and say, this is how perhaps you can make it better. And touch wood, if they've taken my opinions on board, and games have been better for some of my feedback, which is great. And that's a wonderful feeling. I've helped contribute to something that's out there in the ether. I can't create a game from the get-go. I don't have the skills of that particular team, that writer to envisage that. I don't have the mindset to create all the twists and turns. I don't have the humor of Parker and Stone at South Park Studios. I'm no Cliffy B, anybody like that. I mean, whether I like their games or not, I have to respect their skill set and their talent and their perseverance and their vision. And they have one, and that's great. People who do Fortnite, people who create amazing things in Minecraft or Fallout 76 when they build their amazing things. I have respect for you. Doesn't mean I enjoy it. That's the beauty of it. Going back to Saints Row, I want my my purple dildos. I want my stupid weapons. I want my over-the-top music. I want my over-the-top action sequences. I want stupid ridiculousness. I want more ridiculousness in games. Give me ridiculousness. Let's see. Sorry about the notification. I have no idea why that was. But I blame Twitch. Twitch. Let's talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man: No Way Home. The big trailer finally dropped after some leakage, and people. I didn't look at the leaked trailer. I wanted to get it when it finally came out, and I cast it up to the big screen TV with the surround sound. And I can understand why it's one of the most eagerly awaited trailers of the year, because it delivers everything. We know Stephen Strange is in it. We know that it's following on from Peter Parker being announced as outed as Spider-Man. People are talking about, is Matt Murdock in it? People are talking about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. We are talking about Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. We're talking about Willem Dafoe again as the Green Goblin. We are talking about Jamie Foxx as Electro. So we are talking about the multiverse and it merging together and tapping in to and following on from WandaVision. And this is plugging into that, and then it'll go on to Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness with Sam Raimi, who directed the original Spider-Man trilogy, involved. And I have in theory, and I think that almost everything that they show from that trailer, the important bits where it's like he's doing a spell, the spell to make everybody forget that then opens the multiverse. I think all that happens in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And then the rest of it is the fucking crazy shit. That's my only theory, because that's the only thing I'm going to watch. I'm not going to watch another trailer. It's got me suitably excited. I'm sure it's got you excited, because it's a fucking awesome trailer. Yeah. So I liked it. What did you think? What else happened this week? And we'll talk about it in a sec. Let's see. Jedis Thor. Some people are saying that that's actually not Stephen Strange. It is Mephisto effing around. So that might be interesting. Sorry to share a potential spoiler, but who knows? Let's talk about What If this week. What If was, what if the Avengers didn't become the Avengers? And if you haven't seen this one yet, I'm actually not going to spoil this. In fact, I might not even just talk about it this week. We'll talk about it next week, because give you a chance to catch up on it, because I think it's the best of the What Ifs so far. And it does suffer from what if-itis, because the what if-itis so far is this could have been a 2-hour Marvel animated movie, and it would have been beautiful. It really would have. It opened up a whole bucket of worms. And it'll be interesting to see how things go as they go towards the end of this series, and if what if is canon, even though it is what if, and how this like I said, just the way this will go. And I just loved every aspect of it, and I wanted it to carry on. And this is the problem with the first two as well. I wanted to see what Captain Carter went and did next, and I wanted to see the Guardians of the Galaxy with T'Challa, and I wanted to see what happened to the other the OG Star-Lord when his dad got hold of him. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, I thought I had water here somewhere. So yes, I'm going to rename that series What If Marvel Finished the Fucking Stories? Or what if Marvel gave us satisfactory endings instead of left us dangling? I know that's the whole purpose. It's like, ooh, get me thinking, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Give me more of an arc. Treat it like Flashpoint. Because Flashpoint, the animated cartoon, the DC cartoon, took care of that storyline all in one. Boom, we're done. Satisfied, happy. I think what ifs need to be 2 hours long. RP Genius makes an interesting point. The art style is a little bit jarring, especially I think for the older person. But I think the storytelling is very, very interesting, and I've loved the book. I really have loved the book. But yeah, what else am I going to talk about? Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso dropped last night. Oh, like I said, that's another one I don't want to spoil for anybody. I think you should enjoy it if you are a Ted Lasso fan. And that ending, oh boy, howdy. And that's it. Ronaldo is back with United. What's my thoughts? I think if you're a Man United fan, you're going to be very happy. I think him being there instead of City is the right move for him because he gets to come back to his club. It would have been so wrong if he'd have gone off, especially with his Real Madrid connection and going to work for the former Barca manager at Man City. I think, him and Pep never really liked each other. He will be welcome back with open arms. It'll be interesting to see how the egos, let's face it, the ego is landing. They've already got a couple of egos there in Paul Pogba and in Bruno Fernandes. Is Fernandes going to give up the free kicks and the penalties? Because Ronaldo takes those. Fernandes is, he gets a goal bonus. They didn't really work together very well for Portugal this past summer at the Euros. Will they put it all to one side? This could be a match made in heaven that really pushes Manchester United to the dizzying heights of finishing behind Liverpool this season, because Liverpool are going to win the whole lot. We'll see. We'll see after the Chelsea game. Let's see how that one goes. Virgil van Dijk versus Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Part of me, actually all of me, is praying that it's a total disaster all around. And Man United have pissed away 20 million, and there's disharmony and dissension in the ranks. And they crumble and fall apart and get knocked out of Europe and the FA Cup and everything else, and they end up relegated. Sorry, I just don't like Manchester United. And I'm sure Manchester United fans feel the same way about Liverpool and totally respect that. It's what's known as a bit of banter. Good luck to you. But yeah, it's going to bust up that wage structure, as the RP Genius points out. If he's on almost £500,000 a week, that's obscene money. I mean, he's a fantastic player, but a lot of pissed off people. Be interesting to see if anybody tries to leave before that deadline on Tuesday. Let's see. All right, everybody's just still talking about the football. Bernardo Silva apparently wants out of Man City, which is interesting. I suppose he could come to Liverpool. We'll take him off your hands. We'll give you Divock Origi for him. Very sorry to see Shaqiri go, by the way. I don't think injuries and everything contributed, and perhaps he was not a Jurgen Klopp style player that Jurgen wanted him to be. But I've always had a very, very soft spot for Sheridan Shaqiri. I think he's fantastic, and I wish him all the best at Lille. I think a lot of Liverpool fans would as well. His 2 goals against Manchester United put him into folklore. And his assists during the 4-0 twatting of Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final. I would love to have seen him get a run in the team, but he never managed to get it. And I fear for the likes of Minamino. I think he's going to go the same way. I think Divock Origi's going to leave. And yeah, I mean, Harry Wilson's another one who never really got to, make his mark. Ben Woodburn, a couple of others. So, yeah. Anyway. Let me see. Okay. Sundancer GE. I think we had this conversation on Sunday, didn't we? I really don't, like I said, I mean, this is interesting for all those who play tabletop games, but that's not me. So good luck to Games Workshop. But I am not that person. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate a lot of things. Doesn't mean I have to like them. Let's see. Yeah, RP Genius doesn't want. Well, look, let's face it, RPG. I mean, who would I like us to sign? Well, I would have loved to have signed Fernandes before he went to Man United. I would have loved to have seen Timo Werner before he went to Chelsea, or Pulisic, for example. Let's face it, anybody who gets linked with us and professes an admiration for us, for Liverpool, ends up going to somebody else. So, yeah, I don't know who we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get anybody. So, there you go. I don't know if we're in the running for Saul. I don't know or if we're getting Basuma from Brighton. I mean, now we're talking footy. Obviously, it's turned into a footy. Okay, so any more topics of conversation beyond footy? In fact, I probably need to go to my Premier League team. I don't know if I missed the cutoff for this week, have I? Oh, look at that. I'm number... What? How am I number 3? Oh, I got 55 points. Oh, look at that. I'm only 40 points behind fucking Ray... 30 points behind Ray Bad. No, 40 points. God damn it. All right, where's my team? For Saturday, 20th of August. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I'm going to put swap, switch. Okay. You have to bear with me. I have to do this. Jota, Thiago, Keane, Chilwell, Stones. All right, I'm going to put switch. All right. Save my team. There you go. My team is saved. Oh, good grief. Yeah, I had to pull out all the Chelsea players because I want Liverpool to win 3-0. Anyway, I got my Tyrone Mings point, so he's back in, and they have Brentford at home. Yeah, should be good. I don't have a Chelsea player in the squad. They're all in the reserves. And there you go. Thank you for joining me while I just did my fantasy league team and clicked save for once so that I can actually try and get some decent points. But seem to be doing quite well so far. My team details. Let's see. Yeah. My team seems to be going quite well. Anyway, sorry about that. Talking amongst yourselves. Have a cup of tea. All right. Do I think Starfield will be the Star Citizen was hoping to be? Will they both be buggy messes for years to come? That's an interesting one because I've never. It's funny. Star Citizen has just been this one that it's just gone over my head. I have more faith in Todd Howard and Bethesda Game Studios, understandably, than I do with Chris Roberts. The difference between the two is that you're not going to be asked to spend several $1,000s on Kickstarter to get this fake ship that you want to have, this virtual ship, virtual crests, whatever. I think that it's going to be better because of just the quality of the team behind it. I don't know if that's going to make it any good because I don't know enough about it, but I am excited because I've enjoyed the last, almost every game that Todd's worked on, Fallout 76 excluded. And that's, seems to be doing well. It's turned itself around. People are happy. Do I get offended when Americans use British slang? No, I think it's cute. It's like a puppy trying to play piano. I haven't seen the new episode of Titans yet, but I am up to season 3 finally. When I was last week in particular, when I was just getting used to the medication, I spent a lot of time watching Titans, and I finally got all the way through to the end of the first 2 episodes of 3. So RP Genius, do you think the multiverse, now this is interesting because this is the Sony multiverse, and Sony moving forward have said that while we can expect to see maybe see Spider-Man, Peter Parker in their standalone movies, you won't see Morbius, Venom, etc. in the MCU because they still have, it's like Sony's Marvel Spider-Man universe thing. I mean, I just wish they'd sell up and just give it, get it back to Marvel so we can all have one big friggin' multiverse, one big verse, if you will. But that's never going to happen because Sony want to make money and they paid for it. They invested in it. They paid for it. So we'll see how it goes. But I hope Venom is better than the original Venom. Tom Hardy was the high point of that. Some great characters. Just weak writing, I felt, in some shitty CGI. Gremlin 117, my friend, you are a little bit behind the times, and we talked about the non-existent footage and why I'm not really sure I'm interested in a XCOM-esque Firaxis turn-based strategy game for the Marvel Universe, especially when you're playing this new character that the fact that you can be, they turn this character into whatever you want. It's called the Hunter, apparently. It can be male, female, power sets, gadgets, whatever. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to need to see some gameplay. I just don't know how that's going to fly, especially on consoles. For turn-based, is there a market for it that goes beyond that can justify the license? Unless Marvel has granted an overarching license to Square Enix no, that's Take-Two. What am I talking about? That's not Square Enix. It's Take-Two. So there you go. How do you justify shelling out that fucking license? That's interesting. Yeah. Has anybody played the new Aliens game that came out this week? I haven't, but I'd like to have a crack at it at some point. Yeah. All right. What are we talking about now? Yep, a lot of people talking about Stargirls. Yes, I like Titans because it's grown up, and I don't want to kill anybody in it. I have this thing about children on TV. I don't like them. Okay. I know we're going to wind down now. I see the viewership has plummeted along with my energy. And actually, I do need to wrap it for this week. I do want to say, bear with me on this. I want to say thank you to King Ding II for being the third, or is it fourth? I think it's maybe in the fourth person to subscribe at the Scotch level so that they will have One of these. That's what's coming through to them. And thank you, as always, to everybody who supports me on the Patreon. It's going to be even more vital over the coming weeks and months because me thinking, oh, my medical bills are all behind me now. I can start working regularly again, do some consulting. Well, that all went out the shitting window, didn't it? So, patreon.com/IamBeer. The first 2 levels, $3 or $6 a month. If you could see your way clear, that would be absolutely wonderful. It does make a lot of difference. The third tier is the one with the mug, and you also get a Zoom with me, a one-on-one Zoom or a Discord or whatever of your choice. Nobody seems to want this so far. I mean, I don't know why. It's like you've signed up for it. You'll get the mug, but you also get to have a conversation with me one-on-one. We talk about your interests, and we just get to have some fun. But nobody wants to do it. What's going on with that? Breath doesn't smell. Pits are clean. So yes, if you and you know who you are, if you've signed up and you haven't taken advantage of that yet, please respond to the Patreon messages. Let's talk about it. Let's set it up. But as always, thank you to everybody who is able to support me in that way, because it is very, very much appreciated, and is probably going to be needed more than ever, because yeah, this is probably my final push for making money, because I can't go get a job now, and my consulting gigs are going to have to be scheduled around things like God forbid, surgery and chemotherapy, and there's going to be days where the meds are going to knock me sideways. So it's going to make things trickier. So this is the thing. This is it. Sorry to end on a downer. Whoa. Okay, I need to go. I need to go and put pants on. That's right. No, I'm wearing compression leggings because I'm off blood thinners, and I need to keep all the blood in certain areas of the body and the legs and stuff. So it's an old thing. It's an old man birth thing. So yes, I have to go see my cardiologist. So I have to go put pants on. They don't like it if I turn up in imagine the bottom half of an Olympic sprinter, top half Mr. Potato Head. That's what I look like right now. That's why I'm never lowering the camera. But standing is good. You're amazing. It's not quite Spanx Raypad. RPG, like I said, if you can't, don't. I want to, I don't want anybody to put themselves out. It's appreciated if you can. It really is. But don't sell yourself short. Don't go without. Look after yourselves first and foremost. You're all good people. I love having you come drop by, hang out with me. It's fantastic. It's good therapy. And I'm going to keep on doing this for as long as I can. Yeah. And on that note, thank you so much, everybody. Be good. I'll talk to you next week, and hopefully we'll have more to talk about. Who knows? Maybe I'll give 12 minutes another 45 minutes and see if it gets any better. Or who knows? Maybe I just won't. All right. Be good. Talk to you next week. Ciao.